Hello and welcome, and thank you again for joining us today. Myself, Sonia Clark, and a lovely guest speaker joining us today. Her name is Lindsey Vertner. Welcome, Lindsey.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's lovely having you here. And look, listeners, Lindsey is a lovely lady and absolutely inspiring and absolutely hilarious. We've often had some really lovely jokes, and she has shared previously some really funny clips about her surviving at home with the kids. And we were just previously talking about that. Oh my goodness me, she's still got them now for home school holidays for 2.5 months now, after having had them home for teaching as well, for school teaching. Oh my lordy. I have previously interviewed Lindsey for our summit, or my summit, and it was absolutely funny that can't run away from these kids, even though her little one was being looked after. I think it was 6-year-old, isn't she?
Seven. She's
7-year-old.
seven.
But then just happened to slowly sneak something under the door frame, and I could see that Lindsey was sort of looking to her side and looking down again, and had this frown. And then she said to me afterwards, "Sonia, I've just got to share with you what came through." I said, "What are you talking about?" And she pulls up this message, this piece of paper, and it said, "Mum, I'm hungry." Can't escape them.
I'm sure you walked past the kitchen, walked past your dad to get to me to give me that note.
That's right. Mum, stop working, feed me. Oh, the trials and tribulations of working from home, and certainly at this time. And, this show is all about, personal life and professional life being smashed together as being entrepreneurs. But I think this whole COVID thing has taken it to another level.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, Lindsey, do you want to give our listeners a little bit of context and tell them your story?
Yes. So again, thank you for having me. My name is Lindsey Vertner, and I am a peak potential strategist. And what that means is I help you to live at your maximum potential each and every day. So what I do in my business is I help millennial moms and startup entrepreneurs to master their mindset and balance their life through self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. So that is my passion. I love to do it through coaching. I love to do it through speaking on stages. And that is my purpose. Now, how I got to my purpose was in May of 2007, when I found myself waking up in a dark room. I had no clue where I was. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. I couldn't see anything. But the only thing I did notice was like the moonlight was shining through a window that I knew wasn't mine. And so it was like I started to panic because what else do you do, right? And I panicked enough that I exhausted myself out and fell back asleep. So then the next time that I woke up, it was daytime. And I'm thinking like, man, that was a crazy nightmare. And it felt so real. Only to slowly realize that I still didn't know where I was. I still couldn't move. I still couldn't talk. I still couldn't see. So the only difference was that now there were people in my room. And a lady walked up to me, a little petite lady, and she starts asking me my name and asking me all kinds of questions. And I'm looking at her like, what is going on, right? But nothing is coming out of my mouth because there was a tube down my throat keeping me alive. And so she started to fill me in on the entire past week of my life. And what had happened was on May 13th, 2007, last thing I remember is driving down the highway to head home. And then I remember nothing until this lady is telling me that the car I was driving flipped multiple times off the opposite side of the highway before landing on its roof upside down. I was pinned between the roof and the car, and they had to cut me out of the car and then fly me by helicopter to a trauma hospital. And then they proceeded to do emergency surgeries, despite pronouncing me brain dead, not only on the scene, but also once I arrived at the hospital. And on top of all of the injuries I received, I was also paralyzed. So just imagine, like, minding your business, going about your day, and then that's what you wake up to. So it was that experience that led me to what I do today as a peak potential strategist. And that's the short version.
Yeah, that's the very short version. Goodness gracious me. Look, listeners, having listened to Lindsey and her various versions, short, medium and long, it's just such an inspirational story. I really suggest for listeners there to go and viewers here on YouTube to go and to watch and to listen to Lindsey's story. She tells it so beautifully, and on her website that there's a little bit more of details there of the trials and tribulations that you overcame, Lindsey, and that how you then realized how you can help yourself. And oh gosh, I've played it to my family, and they were like, wow, your inspiration and your sheer grit to get through that. And obviously, though, it seems like you had a really good disposition to be able to see the cup half full rather than half empty, and to how to help yourself out, but also how you figured out how to help yourself out to get to your goals and to achieve your objectives that you wanted is just absolutely amazing. And then your wicked sense of humor. Absolutely lovely. And the thing is, people, I'm probably not sharing the full joke there, that she did these chronicles earlier this year on being held hostage, by the kids, and help, with the whole thing of being here in COVID-19 with kids at home. It was absolutely gorgeous. And it is about choice. We can see things either the half full or the half empty. And I often say play victim or victor. And sometimes it can be very hard, and we can fall into those habits, and we can say, look, these really horrible things have happened in our life. And absolutely, sure. But we still have the choice, if we're alive, how to move forward and how to get that assistance. So you can see people, Lindsey is that award-winning personal development coach and speaker, as she does have behind her with her beautiful poster there, and is a best-selling author, 2 times #1 best-selling author, mind you, peoples. So look out for any of the future authoring that she'll be doing. And also, her heart is so beautiful that she's it's a co-founder with a not-for-profit organisation, helping women and with empowerment and networking events, which I think is awesome, as well as having, after all of that traumatic situation that happened to Lindsey, went on further back to school and went and got some degrees. Talk about shoving up the up the doctors. Don't tell me I'm brain dead. I'll show you. I often say to people, some of the things that teachers have told me, and thank goodness I'm a stubborn person, and one of my models is, if you, I'll show you. Well, I almost feel like I found my spirit sister in that too.
Yes. And we are sisters, because that's something that I always say as well, is that in that moment, whenever I was hearing all of those things, like, I had the choice to either be a victim to my circumstances or to be a victor over my obstacles. And for me, I chose the latter, because it takes the same amount of energy to be miserable as it does to be happy. And so if I'm going to be exerting energy anyway, I want to exert it towards the positive happiness side, because no matter how much I cried or pouted or whined or anything like that, I realized that none of that was going to change what had already happened.
Yep.
So what did I want to do?
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I'm often saying that, the past is the past. And even
Mm-hmm.
as sometimes, some horrible traumatic things can happen, but there's still the past. Does it affect us? Yes. But we are the ones in control of how we see things as a perspective and how we live in the very near future, which is the very next minute.
Mm-hmm.
The present is this minute right now, but the future is the next minute, and that's going to happen. So
Right.
we really can't run away from the future. Sometimes we might
Oh,
want to. So, Lindsey, you've come to talk about some really fabulous tips and strategies for helping people both in their personal and professional life.
mhm.
So, please take it away.
Yes. So one of the things is just mastering your mindset. And that's not just one thing, that is a very foundational, significant thing, because it all starts with our brain. Like everything in this world started with a thought. The computer or phone that you're watching this on or listening to this on, the chair you're sitting in, everything in this world starts with a thought. But what we often overlook is that the lives that we're experiencing started as a thought as well. The reality we're living started as a thought, because we have the ability to define the reality that we live in. And that's why it's important that, one, you focus on the positives, because you can't focus on the positives and the negatives at the same time. And where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you're focused on the positives, then you will attract more positive things into your life, and your brain will give you more positive happenings in your life, because our brain, it's like a Google search. Like, I love this analogy, because if we type in blueberry pie recipe into Google, what's it going to pull up? It's going to pull up all kinds of different recipes for blueberry pie. And it might give you a suggestion like, here's also some blueberry muffins since you like blueberry pies. And it might say, here's an apple pie recipe since you like blueberry pies. But what it's not going to give you is lasagna recipe or pizza recipe or, I don't know, a custard recipe. And so it's going to give you the things that you asked it for. So our brain is the same way. So when we ask our brain, oh, my life is horrible, all these bad things always happen to me, then it's going to fill up your brain search with all these examples and experiences of how your life is horrible. So that's why we have to tell our brain, no, I want to see the positive. I want to see success tools and resources to create creative problems to my, or creative solutions to my problems. And then that's what your brain does. It goes to work and it finds you all of the different positive examples and happy experiences that you've had. And the more that you focus on that, the more that you are able to see how often you do have positive experiences, how often you do have help or support or the tools that you need to succeed in that next level. So that is a really, really big shift to make in your mindset, is to focus on the positives and be mindful of the things that you are focusing on, because it's going to influence your behaviors, which influences your environment.
Absolutely. I love that analogy. Really, really love that analogy because, yeah, I mean, people could be saying, but I want someone to help me, but then everyone else is typing in, but I want someone to help me, rather than I need help with da 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 da. And then you got to find that help a whole lot more. So, coming out of that victim sort of mentality, how do you claw yourself out to be able to get into then, victor mentality and stay there a whole lot more? I like that. Beautiful. So, what's some other fabulous tips and suggestions you can give us?
Yes, yes. So instead of asking yourself, why me, ask yourself, why not me? Because no matter who you are, we all have obstacles and struggles sometimes, but your mindset is going to make the difference between whether you overcome that obstacle or whether you allow it to keep you stuck and stagnant in your business or in your life in general. So ask yourself, like, what do I need to learn from this obstacle? What characteristic is it trying to build? What lesson is in this moment that I can use to succeed at the next level? And just asking those questions, then times whenever you are like having struggle moments or just having a lot of obstacles, that's going to help to push you past that obstacle because you can focus like, all right, so this is going on. I'm going to think of it as a character builder rather than something that is meant to keep me down. And then you'll start to see the creative solutions to those problems and you can overcome it a whole lot easier. So just identifying what lesson do I need to learn? What purpose is all of this?
Love it. It's really, it's a skill, and then it's a habit, and how it can certainly help us in our personal life and professional life. It can help us with forecasting, I suppose, the possibilities of certain things when they could go wrong. And there's, some things that we can sort of say, look, the possibility of that happening is about 50% or 80% or 20%, and sort of it can help us that way. But it can certainly help us if we're making it as a habit, that for when those things that, like the COVID, is something that we haven't forecast, and all of a sudden it goes bang, and then it not only affects us professionally, but it also affects us personally. Like, talk about whammies all over the place. And then in a physical sense with that, oh my gosh, I've got to sterilize and clean everything in flippin' sight. Seriously. It's like, how many more whammies do we need? So yeah, go on.
I was just going to say a big thing with that is, again, focusing on those positives instead of looking at it like, oh man, now I'm stuck at home. Think of it as, now I have the time that I previously said I didn't have to do this thing that I've been wanting to do. Or maybe you're on the opposite end where you're always on the go, 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 busy, 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 busy. Now you have the time to rest and just rejuvenate and reset your body, mind, soul, so that whenever it's time to go again, you can go out much more powerful than previously.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. It is an opportunity to reset buttons and to re-look at our lives and our, our priorities, and then our operations. And, the absolute fundamental at the base of all of that is our mindset. So give us some more suggestions on how we can really get that strong as a habit.
And focus on the positives, and then identify like what is the lesson to be learned from the obstacles that are in front of you. And then also be thankful. Now this is very important because it's going to also help you to focus on the positives. See, all of these things are connected, right? Whenever we are thankful for the things that we do have and the abilities and skills and resources that we do have, we only attract more of that into our lives, because it could always be worse. No matter what level you're at, it could always be worse. And there's somebody that's behind you wishing they were at your level while you're wishing that you were at the next level. So when you're grateful for the things that you do have, you attract more abundance into your life. However, if you're constantly complaining or just negative, like, oh, I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough education, or I don't have enough support, then you are actually attracting more of that into your life. It's very counterintuitive. Lack begets more lack. And so that plays right into each other. Focus on the positives, practice gratitude. You attract more things to be grateful for when you do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even if it's a simple thing. My husband and I always do sort of get into little arguments over it, and it's even a simple thing as far as the cold. He doesn't like the cold. And he goes, yes, but I don't like the cold. I've got to go out and work in it. I'm going, George, seriously. Focus on what the blessing is in that. And, sometimes though, some people can really find it. I remember saying once though, well, one of the blessings is that we have water that comes about from us, and water, creates life. So we need winter because it just brings about a little bit more water. That's one thing that got me by. Yay. So what would be some other things if people are really finding it so difficult to still see the positive? What could you suggest to them?
That intention matters. Be intentional about what you want for your life, because that can help pull in all of the other pieces. That can help guide your thoughts. That can help guide your behaviors whenever you set the intention. Set intentions for your long-term life, set intentions for your day, set intentions for your week. So for example, whenever you get up, if you're just like, oh, I'm going about my day, then you open the doors for anything to happen to you throughout the day. But when you get up and you set the intention, like, I'm going to have a great day today, then you'll be amazed at how much easier it is to see the things that are going to come along as distractors to derail you from that great day. Because then you'll be like, wait a minute, you're starting to bring my mood down a little bit, or you're bringing the negativity, and I said I'm going to have a great day, so let me cut this off right now, right?
Yeah.
And continue with my great day. So you give yourself more control over your emotions and the things that are happening throughout. Like you mentioned your husband, this is an example that I call. So, this was a while ago, but I had set the intention that today is going to be a great day. And I don't remember what it was about, but my husband, he was upset about something, and he had started to talk about it and was arguing a little bit. And I'm just looking at him and just looking. I'm like, you done? And he keeps going. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know about you, but I plan on having a great day today, so you can continue this argument by yourself. And I was not at all laughing at him, but I was laughing at myself because I planned to have a great day and I wasn't letting anything deter my great day. And so it was funny to me because here I am having this conversation about my great day in my head, and it made me laugh. And so now I'm laughing while he's upset. Like, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I'm going to have a great day. And so
hopefully he doesn't get even more upset. Go, why do you laugh again?
I gotta go, okay? Let me know when you're done, and then we can have a great day together.
But that's
intention, right?
Yeah, absolutely, so true. And positivity is contagious. So that's one advantage, is to say, look, well, by at least having positivity as a tool in your tool belt, it's going to be contagious, and you can affect other people to turn them around. And prior to you just saying all of that, I was actually also thinking, how about when people are having to deal with negative people in their lives, so whether it's a loved one or whether it's a client or a customer, and they can be saying, I'm going to have a great day. But if they've actually got to go out and then deal with whether they know that they've got that negative person to deal with, or they don't, but that person comes about, what tip can you give them around, other than laughing to themselves? What tip could you give to help bounce that off? What would you say?
So you really have to be mindful of how you are affecting other people and how they affect you as well. Because sometimes we can't get away from the situation like I was able to in that moment. So it's important to just think about, one, how do I want to feel? How do I want to make this person feel? But then also accept that we can only control ourselves. We can only control our response and our reaction to other things and other people. So if let's say you're dealing with a customer and they're very irate about something, do your best to set that intention, like, I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to try and help this customer as best as I can. You might be cussing them out in your head, but Don't let that come out your mouth, please, please. So set that intention that you are going to do your best to improve their mood as much as you can. But at the same time, remember that you are not responsible for their emotions and you can't control your emotions. You can only do your part to influence their emotions as best you can. And hopefully, once they leave you, they're a little more happier than before they got to you. So that's something that I always try to walk with in my life, is that anytime I interact with somebody, I want to leave them happier or better than they were whenever we first met or connected.
Yeah, yeah, lovely. And then don't take it on board. Sometimes, when I was younger and I want to help and I want to help and I want to help, and like, yeah, it's a bit too easy to take on that monkey, to take it on board, thinking that we're alleviating it for them. Often we're not. And the thing is that we're sort of taking that on board, which is not going to be helping us either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of those, oh, gosh, it's so many things are easy to say in hindsight, aren't they? But it's sometimes it's recognizing it in the moment and what to do in that moment for yourself first, and then for the other person. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that a lot of the things that you said there is some really good fundamentals and tools there that people can implement, which is lovely. So
Yeah.
other tips that you might have for
Yes.
helping us with our personal and professional life?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, a lot of times somebody's irritability or anger is not necessarily about you. So just not taking that personal, because we all are going through things. And then self-care is a big one. That can flow right into self-care, because when we don't practice self-care, then it does become easier to be moody. It becomes easier to get agitated or angered by even the smallest things. So when we are in that regular practice of self-care, then we can manage our emotions and our ability to steer situations a whole lot more effectively than when we don't. So a recent quote that I came across by somebody named Katie Reed, and I apologize, I don't really know who she is, but I love this quote. She says, self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. And I absolutely love that, because that's exactly what it is. We often think that, oh, if I'm doing this, then I'm selfish. That means I'm putting myself first. But you have to put yourself first if you want to pour into other people. And just think about it. Like, let's say you're excited to tell somebody a story or something that happened, and you're telling them the story, and then you slowly realize that they're not really paying you attention. And like, how do you feel when that happens? And that's what a lack of self-care feels like. You think you're doing amazing and you're serving all these people, but you're giving them what's left of you instead of the best of you. And so I just love that, love that quote, because
Oh,
that perfectly illustrates the purpose of self-care. And you have to prioritize self-care in your life, because when you don't, it starts it starts the slow deterioration process towards your mental and emotional health, which overflows into your physical health.
mm,
And we don't want to live stressful, overwhelmed lives. But when
mm,
you don't practice self-care, eventually you'll get there and you'll get burnt out and you'll be highly stressed and highly overwhelmed and easily agitated and all kinds of things that you
yeah,
risk.
yeah. Oh gosh, I love that quote too. That's another one that's got to go up on my wall.
Including the upcoming book.
Oh, yeah, we should make a book full of all these quotes. It's good too. I'm loving interviewing so many different people and all the various different quotes that people do like and hold as mantras. And it's like, and I keep thinking I must put them all up on my wall. And one day I'm going to have my whole wall filled and I'll take a photo and let everyone see it. I think it'd be awesome. And, that helps us in our personal life and with ourselves first and foremost, to then be able to be better of service to others and to then help us in our professional life. A lot of
Mhm.
people have it that we have businesses and we need to do well in the many facets of our businesses, so then we can have the life that we want to lead and to have, and to be helping others. And so therefore, that's a really great way of seeing it, because it goes around in that circle. Very much so. It's a beautiful empowerment tool. So what else have you got to share with us? I'm digging deep, people. I'm digging deep.
You know me, I can go on and on and on all day. So this one plays off of intention, because sometimes we set the intention, but then we don't do the work that's required with the intention. So intention plus action is what's important. You can't just shift your mindset, but then you also have to put the action behind it. But the good thing is that if we shift our intention and our thoughts effectively, then it'll slowly, subconsciously, and naturally influence our actions. But setting the intentions for what you desire for your life, for your business, for your day, and then identifying what actions do I need to take to achieve that. Oftentimes we think, oh, no, I'm not at level 100 right now, so I don't do anything, or I'm on level 0, and to get to level 100 is completely overwhelming, so I'm not doing anything. But that's not how you want to look at it. You want to say, all right, my goal is at level 100. Now, how do I break that down so that it's less overwhelming? And what's something that I can do today that'll progress me one step further towards my goal? And you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that, and that's one of my favorite quotes. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. So don't worry about levels 50 through 100. Right now, just worry about level 1. Execute a plan to get to level 1. And then once you're on level 1, then you execute a plan to get to level 2. Once you're on level 2, you execute a plan to get to level 3. And before you know it, you're at level 100, just like that. As long as you set that intention and keep to that plan, that helps to guide your behaviors whenever you have set that intention. So we keep saying the same things because they're all connected to each other. And that's also going to help you when you're feeling less than motivated, because oftentimes we have those moments where, oh, I don't feel pretty, or I don't feel confident, or I don't feel like it, or I feel tired. Those feels. We got to get out of our feelings sometimes. But if you set your intention, then that's going to help to get you over that hump of I don't feel like it right now for whatever reason it is, because then you can think about, all right, I know I'm tired. However, this is what I want for my life. This is what I want for my day. So even though I'm tired, I'm going to still get up and do this, because that puts me one step closer to this thing that I want, instead of sitting in that feeling of being tired or not feeling like it, or whatever the reason is.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it. You fill my cup every time. I've got staircases today, but I do like that, because it's for those that don't know how to, it's good for them to see, okay, to say to them, sure, here's the staircase, let's focus one at a time. And then others that are be perfectionists and sort of say, oh my gosh, I've got so many of these stairs and there's so much involved. Okay, well, let's just focus with the one. So, it helps for the two different types of mindsets there, which is really, really good. And to be able to look back and say, look at the stairs that we did achieve, pat yourself on the back.
It's important to celebrate those as well, because we want to have a big celebration when we make it to level 100. But if you don't celebrate the little steps in between, you're going to not appreciate 100 as much, and you're likely to burn out as well. So after you reach level 1, take a little break and say, yeah, I made some progress. Great. And now work on level 2, and then take another little break and say, okay, we're moving. Let's keep chugging along. So remember to celebrate the small moments just as much as you want to celebrate the big, large moments.
Yeah. Lovely. And, we do need to do that, and we need to share it with someone else. And, often we think about the reasons why a lot of the times we get into the business, because we've been with those other bosses that we, haven't really enjoyed those processes. So let's try not to replicate that again. And what's some of the things that we could do that really is different? And share the little small wins. Very, very important. Like that.
Yes.
So Lindsey, tell us, what is on the horizon for you this year?
I am actually excited because at this very moment, I am taking pre-orders for my upcoming book. And this is going to be the first book in a launch of a series, the First Class Life series. So First Class Life, 10 key factors to create a life full of purpose, fulfillment, and happiness. Pre-orders are available right now, and it releases this summer. And then later on this fall will be First Class Life, the anthology. So that'll be volume 1 of many First Class Life books. And that's where I get to share the stage with the written stage, that is, with some phenomenal women that are sharing their stories and how they were able to create a first class life despite the obstacles and struggles that they went through. So I'm super, super excited for that. That is what I have coming up. And then we talked about goals and setting that intention. So I would like to share with everyone watching or listening that go to bit.ly/first class goals. I have a goal setting template that'll help you to create your intentions and your goals more effectively than just saying, oh, I'm going to make $100 million, or oh, I'm going to get out of debt. So it allows you to connect to it and create a stronger foundation so that you can achieve it more effectively than not. So
oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. And for listeners and viewers there, I've got it, the URL on this website page. So I think that would be an awesome tool for them. I really look forward to seeing your series come out. Do you have a rough idea how many volumes that you'll be doing?
No, because it actually was unexpected. This is definitely a divine assignment for me. And so the first one kind of came and I shoot it away, no, I got to work on my solo book. But then the Lord just kept dropping little seeds. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. All right, I'm listening. What do you want me to do now? And so just transformation in these women, because it's actually a full program that I offer where not only will you be an author, but we spend 10 months together doing group and individual coaching. And then we end it with a retreat in Mexico right before the book launches this October. And so it's just really, really exciting. But then next thing I know is, all right, First Class Life Volume 2, First Class Life for Mothers, First Class Life for Entrepreneurs. So who knows how far it could go, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mind boggles. I'm almost seeing on a shelf, quite a few of them, at least 6.
Oh, 6, okay. Claim it. All right.
There you go. There's a goal for you. I'm almost seeing colors. I'm almost seeing sort of colors with it, so very interesting. Love it. Really look forward to that. Really thank you so much for sharing so much pearls of wisdom here with us, and some of your tools and techniques. Absolutely lovely. And for your offer, really, really lovely. Thank you so much for volunteering all of that for free. Is there, before we do a last minute sign off, is there any last minute thing you might want to say?
Yes. So remember that you always have the power to choose how you want to live your life, whether you want to go one way or the other. Remember, it's always your choice. And the longer that you stay in victim mode, you give up that power. So give yourself 5 minutes to feel all of the emotions that you need to feel about whatever is going on in your life or in your business. And then suck it up and get over it. In the most loving way.
Yeah.
cannot create logical solutions from emotional places. So it's harder to see the tools that we have for success and the resources that we have whenever we're angry or whenever we're bitter or whenever we're upset. And so that's why we need to feel those emotions, but only for a moment, and don't allow those emotions to affect the whole rest of our day or month or week. Because the funny thing is, like, did you have a bad 5 minutes or a bad day? Usually it's a bad
Yes.
5 minutes that you let affect the rest of your day that turns into a bad day. So
Yep.
just control it in there, hone it in, and keep it moving forward.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So that's going to be leaving us all with quite a lot to think about and go, yes, was that really 5 minutes or a day? Yeah. I love it. Thank you once again, for sharing your information with us. Absolute joy, and wish you all the very best, and certainly a lovely summer holiday with the kids.
We are going to get into some crazy things, whatever I can come up with around here with this quarantine going on, right?
Yes, yeah. Try to be creative and do something with them.
I'm open to ideas, so please reach out. Reach out to me. So
Sounds good.
if anyone would like to connect further, feel free to visit my website, www.lindseyvertner.com, or find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm on all of that, and it's just at Lindsey Vertner. So I would love to connect with you and hear your ideas of how I'm going to make it through this summer.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.